Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Alright, so this video is kind of a fun video, but it does have to do with what's going on in the planets and the sun and all that good stuff. You know, it's kind of funny, this is a narcissist abuse channel, is you have to literally say, oh, this is just a fun video, but narcissists, it's like they don't hear it. It'll go right over their head and they'll get all angry and upset. Fun video. Sorry about that, but our counterparts have a hard time hearing that. Okay, here's what's going on. We are getting blasted. Number one, we have a full moon tonight. That is tonight. If you're in California, it starts about 11:26. I'd go out a little bit before, but it lasts till about, I think it was 12:32 a.m. So it starts tonight on the 13th in California. In New York City, East Coast is 3 hours difference. So West Coast Pacific time, California time, etc. We start at 11:26 p.m. on the 13th. That's tonight. That's a few hours from when this video goes out. And on the East Coast, it will be 2:26 a.m. Technically, that would be just past midnight, so it will be on the 14th. So if it's the 13th now, it's going to be just past midnight, so it's only going to be about 4, 5, 6 hours from now. Alright, so Central Time is going to start at 1:26 a.m. and go to 2:32 a.m. Mountain Time is going to start 12:26 a.m. to 1:32 a.m. Again, that is tonight, just a couple hours after this video. So the show essentially starts on the 13th. A lot of people are waiting on the 14th and you're going to miss it. It goes 13th to midnight and just after midnight, starting in the 14th, early in the morning. Again, California, Alaska is going to be starting at 11:26 to 12:32 a.m. and Hawaii time is 8 p.m. so 8:26 p.m. it starts. Alright, I hope you like this song. I'm just really in the mood for this song. It's kind of like a movie when war starts. And the music is going to go down. The volume will go down in about 2 seconds. Okay, so here's what is all colliding at the same time. Some of it is happening at the exact same time, and one more is going to happen a few hours later. So here's what it is. We have a full moon tonight. Then it is a blood red moon. And then there is a total lunar eclipse happening tonight. That's what's happening tonight, those times, okay? It's a total lunar eclipse, and it's going to last a long time. Also, Mercury goes into retrograde literally in the same day. The other thing is, we are getting blasted by the sun right now. So it's about 6 p.m. California time. It's been blasting us all day. So I've got a video from that geophysicist. His name is Stefan or Stefan. I can't remember his last name right now, but here he is. Don't worry about what he says, but get an idea of what he says. At the end, I'll kind of put the pieces together on how it's going to affect us.
Breaking news, everyone. Right now, Earth's radiation belts are supercharged to extremely high levels of electron flux. We see that very clearly right here. This is the latest data for today. We see our flux levels are extremely high. This has a lot of consequences here on Earth. First and foremost, this means that if we get any sort of solar storm impact, this will trigger a very significant ion precipitation event, and that will then cause greater geomagnetic volatility than there would have been otherwise. Also, these electrons in the radiation belts, they're also known as killer electrons because if they reach a certain flux value, they can cause deep dielectric charging to satellites, causing them to have malfunctions and short circuits and things of this nature. So this right now is very hazardous for any sort of satellite environment. And in addition to all of that, when we have this sort of intense ion precipitation from any sort of solar activity that heads our way, that also changes the weather here on Earth. And so if you have stable weather systems, then that generally doesn't really do much. But if you already have volatile weather systems, then that can cause them to become even more volatile. And that's the situation that we are in right now. So with these supercharged radiation belts, we have a greater chance of very powerful geomagnetic activity as a result of solar activity. And right now we do have an enhancement of the solar wind headed our way. So that's very likely going to cause a pretty significant ion precipitation event, altering our weather systems even further. We have a very large low pressure system developing over the United States. We just had that cyclone ram into Australia. There's other weather systems across the globe. And the near Earth environment, the satellite environment, is becoming hazardous for all these satellites due to deep dielectric charging. And that is a whole other issue for the Earth geophysically, because the satellite environment around the Earth could potentially trigger the collapse of the radiation belts themselves. We're seeing some really big problems with that, with these re-entries of these satellites ablating and basically showering the entire upper atmosphere and the ionosphere with these metallic particles. And we don't know the long-term ramifications of that, but it's likely not good. So we're going to go into what's happening right now with the radiation belts in this video. And
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. So some people believe, okay, over the years historically, there is some historical truth. Now, don't necessarily mean this is fact, but it could be just coincidence that big wars generally start, or some major shift happens after a red moon or a blood moon. So spiritually, a lot of people believe when events like this collide like this, there is major change on the way. So it's like a big door that's opening up. Now you might say, oh, well, you just said that a few months ago. Yeah, it usually happens a couple times a year. Think of it as levels. Like, you're not just going to go from 0 to 100 in one step. That would just overwhelm you. It's like kind of going from first grade math to trigonometry like at 11th or 12th grade in high school. It's too big of a leap. So you have to go through step after step. Go through that doorway, learn what you have to learn, develop what you have to develop, and then you can go through the next one. Now, again, let's just have fun with this. Let's not get too serious with this. And I'm gonna say the word for the others. The word is fun. So one thing I can tell you, okay, so here's how it's going to affect different people and how it's been affecting people for, I would say more than 5 days, a week, maybe a little bit more. When you're a grounded person, stuff like this doesn't affect you as much, and at the same time, you can see around you how it affects other people. Okay, so you're much more conscious and much more aware. So the people that are not conscious, they're stuck in their ego, stuck up in their forehead, like they have the blinders on, and they're not electromagnetically grounded into the earth, they tend to get knocked all the way around. So I've noticed a lot of people are just exhausted, they're tired, they're stressed, they're what's the word? They're reactive. They get angry. What's another word? You know, could not necessarily, not always anger. It could be they get scared or panicked. You know, so it's kind of like a combination of people getting knocked around by the energy. But if you're rooted, if you're truly grounded, it doesn't affect you as much. Now let's take me. I think it was about 3 or 4 days ago. I even made a video about it. I got knocked around a little bit. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like it wasn't like super bad, but then I was like, okay, I've got to do my ha breathing. I've got to do my meditation, my internal awareness technique, and I've got to ground myself. So it took me, after I was doing the breathing for about 7 minutes, all of a sudden things started to loosen up. I started to ground myself. Boom, within 12 minutes, I'm back. The people that are ungrounded, they essentially get angry at anything. Anything and everything upsets them. It's like no matter what you do, you can just do no right. And by the way, narcissists are not very grounded people. In fact, they're not grounded at all. That's why they're narcissists. That's why every little thing upsets them. That's why they freak out. That's why they panic. That's why they just blow up for no reason. So my strategy for the last few days is just essentially stay inside, work with people through the phone or through Zoom or whatever, and just kind of keep mellow, do my breathing consistently throughout the day, stay grounded. This is how I learned this one thing I kind of mentioned just in the last 2 minutes is, when I really got good at meditating, the one thing I noticed, when I would meditate for 2, 3, 4 hours and I was just really, really clear, I could go out in public and the energies around me didn't affect me at all for at least a couple hours or more. But then it would slowly come back and then pop, I'm back into the energy, I'm back into my ego. And I'm kind of like stressed or, just like going along with where everyone else is at. But here's the interesting thing, what I started to notice. The longer I'd meditate, the longer I could stay in this open state and be aware and conscious and grounded. So I'd go to the grocery store and I began to notice like, wow, everyone here is just talking fast and moving fast, and the parking lot cars are driving fast, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, wow. And then I'd meditate another day and everyone was mellow. Everyone was cool. The temperature was the same. The sun was out. Everything was the exact same. I thought, that is really interesting. Why is it one day everyone in town, even the next city over, maybe even the whole county, is going super fast, talking fast, angry, on edge, but then another day everyone's just slowing down, driving slow, and just mellowed out. It's the energy in the air. Now, one thing Joe Rogan said on his podcast very recently, I forget who he was talking to, but he said, it's like everyone is just like digging in, like digging their trenches, digging it deep, and like they're taking sides. And so here's the deal. I don't believe this is necessarily going to be a physical war. I do believe it's going to be a spiritual, energetic / social war. It's like we're coming to the peak of this thing. And it's kind of like whenever you have two sides clash, and it could be two parts inside of you, whenever they clash like that, eventually a realization happens. It's like you get to a level of exhaustion, and then you finally open up and you're like, oh. Alright, so here's how I look at this whole thing. So another thing I want to say is that, not Mercury, but the moon is in Virgo. Now Virgo is very precise. Virgos can tend to be very uptight. They can get nervous. Now I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, so being a Scorpio with a lot of Virgo, that can tend to make you uptight. So I had to really learn how to ground myself. So this energy, in a sense, it's very good. It's going to be precise. It's going to be bringing up old issues, old things that, it's like to reevaluate, and you'd be like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm ready to let go of that old belief I've carried or dragged through my whole life that hasn't supported me. So this is going to be bringing stuff up, okay? Old beliefs, old issues, old emotions, and you're like, yeah, you know what? It's not in alignment with it anymore. It's not who I am, and it's not what I believe anymore. So essentially, you got to be shedding this stuff. Now, for people that are fighting this is what I'm saying. Like with all the energy coming from the sun, the eclipse, all the stuff that's going on, people who are fighting this and are not doing their deep breathing, do stretching. If you do some deep breathing for 10 minutes, stretch for 10, 15 minutes, take a nice warm salt bath and just relax, you'll flow through this, okay? For the people who are not grounded, they're not down to earth, it is going to be like static electricity bouncing off the walls. It's like they don't have that electricity, the wire going down into the earth. Like every house, every building, not every pole, but I think it's every third pole, they literally have a wire that comes down from the wires up above, the wires that go up on the poles, goes down into the earth. In fact, I took a video, but I don't think I uploaded it because I was trying to show it to people like, hey, this is the grounding wire right here. If you look at some of the poles, there's a little plastic piece going down the side, and there's a wire inside it, and it physically goes into the earth. That's to ground the actual energy. Now, if you don't believe me, go talk to your local electrician, okay? Go to your local electric company. In California, we call it PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric. Actually talk to the people who work on the power lines. They'll be like, well, yeah, you have to. Otherwise, this whole thing will blow up. And it's the same thing inside your nervous system. If you don't drop your cord, if you don't learn how to bring your awareness back inside, which grounds you, getting a massage will ground you, because when they're pushing on your muscles, it brings your awareness inside, which brings your energy inside, which connects you. And that's what the grounding wire does. So for people who are grounded, this energy, this blast of energy can actually be a really, really good thing. It will energize you and launch you into the future. Not launch you into the future, but into your goals, into your manifestations, into things that you're trying to build, starting a business or doing whatever. So if you're grounded, and here's the other key thing, if you go with the energy, it's like literally like a 10 mile an hour, 15 mile an hour wind pushing you from the back. It's not hard. It's not pushy. It's just kind of a nice, gentle push that makes everything easier. And that's the key. If you get an idea, if you get a thought, if you want to start a book tomorrow, the next day, next week, if you get an idea of, I want to start a business, and you want to call a friend and ask them questions, do it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait a day or two. You don't have to do it like that split second. But let's say you're finishing lunch or you're finishing something up. Yeah, make that call. Or let's say it's 2 hours getting off work. Like, yeah, go home, make that call. Take that step, take that action. That's what this energy is all about. Another simple way of looking at this is it's like a doorway opens up. Now, here's what I mean when I say that. I mean emotionally, mentally. It's like you know what when you have some days when you just feel good, your body feels good, your brain feels relaxed, your heart feels relaxed, you feel open. It allows you to open up and just access deeper issues and deeper emotions so they can come up, so you can deal with them. Now, for people who are holding on, clinging on dearly, it's like literally they're fighting the door. It's like, dude, this is a universal door. You are not going to hold it closed. Yeah, not going to happen. All you're going to do is end up stressing yourself out. So for people who don't want to deal with their issues, they're going to come up whether you like it or not. Now, you can do it kicking and screaming and fighting against it, or you can just calm down, breathe, and just go with it and learn something and let go of some things so you can move forward. Because those things that you're meant to let go of, they're just holding you back. They're just literally dragging you down, making you feel exhausted. So this is a time for change. This is a time for growth. This is a time to just move forward. So the energy that's coming from all this, from the moon being full moon being in Virgo, etc., everything that's happening, it's offering you a chance, an opportunity to align with your higher self, to align with your higher purpose and goals and why you're here. And being aligned always allows things to go smoother and much more effortlessly. So you're going to see almost, I don't know if I want to say the extreme of the two differences here. You're going to see some people that are just like, they have clarity, they're grounded. Then you're going to see people that are kind of scattered, stuck up in their hands, and it's just making it worse. So this is why I recommend, essentially, if you don't have to go to the grocery store, don't. Stay inside tonight, stay inside tomorrow. If you want to go out and see the moon, that's fine. But I would be cautious around, if you notice that people are kind of on edge, I would walk away. So another thing is allowing you to get, how do I say this? It's like your purpose, like seeing it clear, having clarity and being much more aware of your purpose. Now for me, my purpose has become very, very clear in the last, say, 3, 4, 5 years, especially I think it's been the last 9 months or a little bit more. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, because, man, I'm really good at a lot of the stuff that I do. I just was like, well, what direction do I take it? And what am I, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this what I'm meant to? It was really for the longest time. And then something just clicked in. God, and I even made a video about it. I'm trying to remember how long back it was. So I actually believe that this is going to take it to the next level. This next opening, in fact, it's opening right now, but I think when it hits tonight, it's going to be like, boom. Do not be surprised if you suddenly become aware of, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to go in this direction. It becomes an emotion, a feeling, a drive inside that just takes you in that direction. As we learn, as we grow as a collective, as a society or societies around the world, here's one thing that I'm hoping is going to slowly begin to shift even more than it already has. Number one, the last 4 years, we reverted back to the way we were during the tribal era, okay? Where there's one king and everyone conforms and you live in fear of what the king says and does. And we as a society, a certain segment, maybe 40+% of our society, is trying to force the rest of us into this, do what you're told, believe what we tell you to believe. There's no sense of freedom. I believe we're coming out of that. I believe tonight is going to be another level of, it's like an opening where people are going to slowly start allowing people just to be who they are. And if they're not okay with it, then walk away from that. In other words, instead of conforming them, shaming them, punishing them, it's like, okay, well, this is who you are. My energy doesn't match up, and that's okay. And you move on to other energies that work within your energy field. What I would like to believe is we're going to finally get more freedom just to be ourselves and to be okay with it, not to get punished or shamed or guilted or harassed, etc. Emotional freedom, emotional healing, just being free to enjoy your life and be happy. One thing I want to mention, the electricity in the air is already affecting different social media sites. I cannot make a thing with Canva, so I'm going to put that blank, not blank image, but the Earth supercharged radiation belt on the front. Canva is not working, and there's another social media site it's glitchy. I mean, super glitchy. So I'm going to upload this just the way it is, and that's it. Now get out there and take a look at the moon. Hopefully there's clear skies where you're at so you can see it. I think where I'm at it's going to be cloudy, but I'm going to go out anyways. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. God bless you. Enjoy the moon. Enjoy the energy. Ground yourself. Breathe deep. Stretch. And just be happy. If you guys like this video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And as always, there's a PayPal link right there in the description box. You can go ahead and make a donation, and that's it. See you guys in the next video. Bye.